Hello and welcome to the MBS podcast with me, John.
And me, Mark.
Bit of a different setup today. Bit strange doing it over Zoom, which is odd, I think.
Several miles apart.
Isn't technology a wonderful thing?
Yes.
Hey, it's quite clever, isn't it? It's quite clever. I like. It is weird because I know that the audio isn't going to be as good, so I'm going to acknowledge that now because obviously we're not sitting with our studio quality mics sat in front of each other. It's headsets and a cheap USB plug-in mic. And
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, all right. I can't. I haven't managed to fathom out the linking up of several computers to record from Zoom into our editing program to be able to go through our mixing deck to do it. So if it sounds a bit jank, then that's on me. So I apologise for that. But hey ho.
And you sat in the toilet.
And I'm sat in the toilet. Yeah, like it's the best place to sit and record a podcast, isn't it? Shit, do a podcast, be all right. So, how you been, mate? All right?
Not too bad, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad, mate. I think this lockdown is starting to get to us again a bit. I think.
It's becoming a bit tedious now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. I don't know. There's. I think we were lucky, inverted commas, in the first sense when we had lockdown one, where it was nice and sunny, so you could sit in the garden and you could. Do you know what I mean? It didn't matter, or you could go for a walk at night whenever you wanted in the evening, and you could just generally have a bit of a nice time, and everything was fine and everything was rosy, despite the fact that the world was collapsing around us. It's like that meme with that little dude sitting there with everything on fire around him. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. But this time round, I think because it's more obviously winter, it's colder, it's dark early. Do you know what I mean?
It's raining
and
constantly.
it has rained as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my days! Have you seen the drilling oars pop back up in the Orkham Valley? It's come out of the water table and it's flowing back through the valley again.
Really?
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Oh wow! I actually I bumped into Noah the other day on his ark.
Yeah, that's right.
As he was sailing through Hawkinge, so.
That's right, mate. Honestly, he went past the bottom of my road about 30 minutes earlier.
Yeah. So all the animals seemed quite happy, and we'll just see what happens from there. Really, it wouldn't surprise me if he did. If I'm completely honest.
Yeah.
It's
it's been pretty crap. It's just weird, isn't it? I think everyone's a bit down. We were having a chat with, we did a Zoom call with Nick and Amanda the other day, and they were saying that they were both feeling it more. Like there's just it's just more depressing this time around.
I think obviously we were, I'll say lucky enough, but we had Christmas, so your sort of mind was taken away from a lot of stuff, wasn't it, with Christmas and New Year?
Mm-hmm.
And then you start sort of getting back into things, and then like it sort of got to towards the end of January, and it's just like, oh, this is never ending.
Yeah.
And
I
I think
agree.
this, the end of January and February has been quite hard. It's just been really tedious, and I just feel like obviously restrictions are a lot tighter, so you just feel like you can't do nothing, and you can't, obviously you can go out and walk when it's hammering it down and it's freezing, but who wants to do that?
Oh, mate, no,
it's not going to make you happy. I don't feel that would make me happy, to be fair.
No, I don't mind the odd jog in the rain or the bit of drizzle, but when it's like 4 degrees or 3 degrees outside and it is absolutely bucketing down, there's no chance.
Yeah, I just think like where I'm not working constantly, obviously you're still at work, you're not getting any fresh air.
Yeah.
I think the most fresh air I get is when I put my used toilet roll holder into the recycling bin, John.
But the recycling out counts as exercise now.
Yeah, that's it. I'm walking up and down the stairs. Like, you don't do nothing, do you? I've become I feel like I've become quite lazy indoors, like just laying about and not really wanting to do nothing. And
I mean,
so I've try to give myself a few different hobbies to try and sort of counteract that. Obviously, I've got the PS5 as well, so that does help. But generally, I only do that in the evening. It's not something I do day and night because I'm not 12.
Yeah, or my wife.
Yeah, or your wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's just I don't know. It's like I noticed the other day on my little pedometer on my phone that my steps has gone down from like 10, anywhere between 10 and 17,000 a day to like the other day it was like 580 for the entire day.
I'm probably not even hitting 200.
Honestly, mate, it's crazy. Honestly, like it, and it's weird because you said earlier on like there are tougher restrictions, but you wouldn't know it when you do go out.
No, I actually think there's more people out now than what there was first time round.
Oh wait, yeah, mate, easy.
Lockdown one.
Hands down, way more people out about. I don't know
So
if
I
it's
worked the first few weeks of the first lockdown, and there was no cars about ever anywhere. But
no.
now, like every park, even like the town. Like I haven't been into like my local town. I couldn't tell you what my local town's like, but I, like when I've gone to Carly's because we're in a support bubble to help with her childcare. Ashford town centre is packed. It's
Yeah,
just people everywhere. I'm
yeah.
like, it's absolutely insane.
Oh, it's just it's bonkers, isn't it, mate? It's like I went out to just like everybody to the supermarket, and it might as well have been Christmas Eve, and it was like 2:30 on a Wednesday or something. Do you know what I mean? Like it was absolutely heaving,
Yeah.
crazy, like proper crazy. Like, oh mate, people everywhere. I don't think people are paying as much attention to it. I don't think.
Yeah, people. It seems like people are just fed up with it all, and they're just gonna do what they want to do.
But then they
Kind
get all. This is the bit that gets me: is that they get all precious and all a bit pious um, about deaths are going up and this, that, and the other. So like, people don't seem to want to be staying indoors, but by the same token, they get all whingy and whiny about it and like, oh, death
yeah,
rates are going up. It's disgraceful. It's disgusting. I mean, I was reading earlier on in one of the science pages that the UK variant of COVID has now mutated. So it's more like the Brazilian slash South African variant. So the UK variant now carries same traits as the South African and the
yeah.
Brazilian one, which makes it more likely to infect you. So I was like, well, if that's the case, because it's funny, isn't it? You're reading things, and then there's a new news article that I read a couple of minutes before, which is like, oh yes, Boris is planning on opening everything up in March, so that everybody can toddle off and do their own thing. Now, and I agree to an extent that we need to kind of start getting moving, but if this new variant, I mean, there are only 11 cases as of today, which is the 2nd of February. There are only 11 cases, but if if it's as virulent as the other two and will spread and get through ridiculously quickly, then it's not going to be very long before
We're
the
back
same
in
thing happens
same
again.
situation.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And
But I think that's their game plan. I think that's how they're doing it. So as the hospitals and etc. ease off, so the
Mhm.
pressure eases off, they relax it all, and then it sort of goes back up, and they put it all back into place, and then they relax it, and it eases off.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, I saw, I think it was in the first lockdown or the second one, or lockdown Christmas returns, or whatever, whichever version of it was that we were in, where someone had suggested, I actually thought it was sort of a semi-sensible argument that you let certain groups out. So, like our group, our age group, our health group, etc., etc., etc. go to work, follow all the PPE guidelines, wash your hands, make sure your face is covered properly, make sure that your face mask actually covers your nose and your mouth. Basic
Yeah.
stuff that then we can go to work, and if we get it, or if we start as an age group or a specific group of people start being admitted to hospital more, rein it back in a bit. Keep all the vulnerable people at home where they should be, people that are shielding and all that. And, where practical or practicable, get the kids to school
Yeah.
and just let them crack on. And it sort of made a bit of sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the answer. I just think
But
we need to. It's difficult because we've got to balance keeping everybody safe. Because if you're, like it'd be fine. If Boris turned around and said, right, people between the ages of 20 and 45 can go out and work as long as you're in good health and you don't have any underlying health issues. Off to work with you, away you go. Normal services resumed, but
mhm.
you must follow these rules. Then I think people might be inclined to go, well, I'm allowed to go to work now because I'm in the healthy group, so I'm going to go and see Nana. Do you know what I mean? And then Nana suddenly gets it, and
Yeah.
so I can
See, the
understand
other
that.
thing that's quite hard about that is obviously, so say you and your missus, and you've got
Yep,
3 kids.
yep,
They're all at school, and you both work, but you've got asthma. None of you should be going out. All of you should be locked down, shouldn't you?
yeah,
So
absolutely.
then the resource, say 2 are at primary school, 1's at secondary. The resource then changes, doesn't it? Because the school teacher, if all the other kids are allowed to school, minus 4 because their parents have got various things, or they've got asthma or any other breathing difficulty, you then have one teacher teaching 24 people. There's 4 people out. Who teaches them 4 people?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because at current, the kids sit at home, they get a Zoom call or whatever, Teams or whatever else they're using, and that's how it works. So
Yep.
you're right there, John.
Just no, I'm dying. Don't mind me. I'll be all right.
Yeah. So I don't know how they would sort of work that.
No,
So
I know.
that
I mean, it was just one of them. It was a suggestion that I'd seen that I thought, there's a little bit of merit to
I,
that. But then by the
I
same
don't think
token,
that that's the wrong way about it. I think that's the right way to do it. From the start, I've said I don't know why the people that needed to be shielded and kept at home didn't get kept at home in their groups
mhm,
for that reason. There's
yeah.
you not any massive, although the virus isn't great, I wouldn't say there's a huge need to make the economy completely stop pretty much because of it. Because there
Yeah, I
are
think I
such a
think
high percentage of people that can still work and do
yeah.
all the other
I
bits and
mean,
pieces.
there's never going to be a government under the sun that ever wants to, or that would ever want to be the government that's known for. Well, we said it was all right for people to go to work, and we killed off like 90% of our elderly and sick and frail population.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? No government wants that. So they've, like, I get it. It's a really difficult. It's a really
Well,
difficult
you
issue.
still
The
got
thing that I don't get is that they didn't just flatly shut down the borders, like New Zealand, I mean, the Isle of Man. There is not a single case on the Isle of Man. They reopened their pubs 2 days ago
yeah.
because there isn't a single case, because they had cases on the island and they went, we'll just stop anyone coming onto the Isle of Man and we'll deal with the sick people that are here. And once they're treated, they're treated. And I know it's like, there's a vast difference between the few thousand people that live on the Isle of Man versus the millions of people that live in the cities. And so I know there's a massive difference. But if we as a country had gone, all right, well, this is pretty shit, we'll put all border closed other than freight, and anybody that comes in has to be tested. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be, you can sit in your freight holding
But the
for,
testing's changed, doesn't it?
yeah, of
Considerably
course it did from day
throughout.
one. But New Zealand did the same thing, didn't they? The New Zealand Prime Minister, she locked down the country completely. Went back, no, sorry, you're not coming in. No one's coming in. And they celebrated New Year's like New Year's. Do you know what I mean? No,
Yeah.
No cases, no problem. She hasn't opened the doors up yet, as far as I'm aware. It's just, I don't know. I think it's, and this is what another lockdown's doing. It's making
Yeah.
people that actually agree with lockdown, because I do agree with it. I think that it's the best way to protect the masses. If you don't have the masses congregating with each other, best way to do it is to keep people indoors and not spread the virus.
Yeah.
But it then sort of leads you down the, not conspiracy theories, but oh well, you should be doing that, or you should be doing this, or you should be. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do any different in terms of what the government are doing. The only thing that I can really think is that I think I would try and have a little bit more emphasis on uh, kind of community mental health services, I guess, and for everyone, for all age groups. I know it. Again, it's another one of those. It would be a logistical nightmare. But if you know, at the minute, at current time today, you can go and get a test and be told 30 minutes or within a couple of hours later that whether you've got COVID or not. So you could essentially go to uh, one of these COVID testing stations in the morning. Then you could go home, get your result that says, "Yep, no, you're clear. You don't have COVID." And you could go and meet up in a community centre or wherever, socially distanced, following all PPE guidelines, wear masks, clean your hands, all that stuff, and sit down and have a natter with someone. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Mavis and Mavis could sit down and have a chat with each other, or like, do you know what I mean? Anyone who's isolated or on their own of any age group could go and sit down and have a chat with either people their own age or people who are older, or what, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just, it's just an idea. It's not saying it's what should be done, but I think I think that's an area that I think they've tripped up with, and I think that's going to be problematic, because I think people are, like I said earlier on, they're just a bit more depressed. It's not as nice as it was in lockdown one, and it's cold and crappy, and like we've said, and I think people are actually really gonna suffer, and are suffering actually already. Not are gonna suffer; they are suffering already through being isolated. Through
Mm.
even, you know, even like I sit here with my wife. Do you know what I mean? Love her to death. I think she's the best thing since sliced cheese. But it's nice to talk to someone else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and the same for her. It goes both ways, obviously, because I'm a bit of a twat, really. So I wouldn't want to sit around talking to me all day. So, like, do you know what I mean? Just so that she's got someone else she can talk to, and it's all good and well texting people, or you know, all right, Zoom's a wonderful thing. You can have a natter or a chat or Facebook Messenger or however else you want to do it. It's good for having a
Yeah.
chat and a natter, but realistically speaking, it's quite lonely, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I live on my own, so I can tell you that firsthand.
Well, there you go. Like,
I finished all my jobs as well, so where it's obviously dragged out on and on and on, yeah, all that sort of stuff's been done now. So I'm sort of like
twiddling
scratching
your
my head,
thumbs. Yeah.
wondering what I'm going to do. I try not to scratch my head too much because my hair's falling out, and I don't want to aid that process any further. To be honest with you, but
Yeah, but you're all right because you've got your caffeine shampoo.
I have, yeah. I use my caffeine shampoo. Doesn't do nothing, but I'll use it anyway. Well, I say it doesn't do nothing. I don't know what's happening underneath the follicles.
It's a load of old bollocks.
Yes, a load of old follics.
I don't know. What else has been happening? Not a lot. I bought a new car. Shit, really.
I've got a new car.
You've got a new car. Fancy new car. Mine's just shit, because I'm going to make the switch from using my car to using an e-bike that I don't own yet. To be fair, I've got to save up to buy, but I'm going to get
You've
myself
got
an
an
e.
invisible one.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
just pretend you're riding a bike to work.
No, actually, that's all I do. I just do like this weird horse ridey type cycling thing, skipping along the road as I go. No, I'm on an invisible e-bike. It's camouflage. But yeah, that's my cunning plan. My cunning plan is to save a bit of money, not using the car as much, help the environment a little bit, but don't really care about that, if I'm honest. But yeah, just save a bit of money, get a bit fitter using the e-bike, just having a bit of a giggle. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah, I kind of need to do some exercise, to be fair.
it's
I'm
just
lacking in that department.
yeah, I mean, to be fair, I probably wouldn't be out on it that much anyway at the minute because of all, like I said, the rain and the crap and the snow and the cold and the shit and the horrible and the nasty. That sucked. Like seeing photos from all over the place where it's like there's like two foot of snow. It looks beautiful and great, and then like you sunny Dover, it's just wet and shit, and there's dog poo on the road and path.
Yeah.
I mean, so brilliant. Keep seeing all these beautiful winter wonderland photographs and videos and stuff like that, and just look out the window.
But this is why we started it, because of all this makes you down. If you're talking about it, it eases up. We're having a laugh about it.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
But what you're saying isn't wrong, is it? It is miserable. It is, it is crappy. It is a bit lonely. Even if you've got your partner there, you haven't got nothing to talk about. What have you got to talk about?
Yeah, you've not had any day. What happened in your day, love? Well, you were sat next to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the sofa squeaks a little bit now because where we've been sat on it so much, and
yeah,
and my hair's grown a bit longer.
Yeah. It is though, isn't it? It's a funny one, isn't it? It's funny. I spent more time than I actually like on social media, which has been shit, really.
I've completed Netflix, I think.
Yeah, actually, I saw the achievement pop up the other day.
We go on there just in the hope that something new's on there. I'm like, please, Amazon or Netflix, please just put something new, just to stimulate my brain and a little bit.
I watched all of Narcos, and I'm now into Narcos Mexico in the space of 3 days.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, Carly and I finished.
Call productive, is it?
No, Carly and I finished looping within 24 hours of starting it. So it's insane. You're literally just sitting there binge watching it. It must look like a couple of zombies sat on the sofa, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's nice in some ways, but I just wish it was a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've spent more inverted commas quality time with my daughter, which has been pretty cool because
I've seen my kids a lot more, which is absolutely brilliant. I can't say anything negative about that.
I've eaten more donuts than I have done in a long time, so that's quite cool.
Oh, I haven't actually had a donut for a while. I kind of want one now as well.
Liz piped up with it the other day. She was like, "Oh, I really want a donut." I was like, and because they've opened that co-op down the road, I was like, "Oh, yeah,
woohoo!"
2 minutes later, back in the house with a pack of donuts. Yay!
Put a smile on your face, though, didn't it?
It did, mate. And
there you go.
To be fair, it was the topic of conversation, or part of the topic of conversation with me, Nick, and Amanda, and Liz the other day. We were sitting there discussing who makes the best donuts. Liz and I both think that it's Morrison's. They make the best donuts, and easily, hands down, the best Yum Yums. Flatly, don't even.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not even a contest. Don't even bother with anyone else. It's just getting from Morrison.
Or are you including like companies like Krispy Kremes and all that? Or
Yep.
When you think Morrison's donuts are better than Krispy Kremes?
Hands down, better than Krispy Kremes.
Wow,
Krispy Kremes are overpriced shite.
That is a statement. I don't disagree that they are overpriced, because 4 or 5 quid, no, £5 or £6, isn't it, for like free?
Yeah, so I was going to say it's like 25 quid for a box of 12. You can fuck off.
They're insane.
And they're grimy as well, right? Because it's not like you get like the Krispy Kremes dude turns up every morning at Tesco's or wherever and goes like offloads a pallet of them and goes, "There you go, there's the donuts." No. He goes and puts them individually in the little display cabinets and everything, and then you get all the grimy skets with their hands all over them. Oh no, that one's got a fingerprint in it. I don't want that one. I put it back. It's not for me, mate. It's not. It's just grimy. It's dirty. They're horrible. They're overpriced, and they taste like shite. It's like Domino's pizza. Domino's pizza can jog on. It's shite.
I like Domino's, but I don't buy it because 20 quid for one pizza is insane. I could fill my fridge up with pizzas for that.
Yeah.
You could go and feed like a classroom of
You could.
pizzas
Yeah.
for 20 quid.
Yep.
Insane. That
Yep.
company must be absolutely minted. That's all I can say.
Rolling in it. Like, but when you've been around here and we've got from Star Pizza in Dover, which is easy, a pucker pizza place. And like for 19.99, you'll get a 14-inch pizza, a 12-inch pizza, a garlic bread, and some bloody potato wedges. 9 times out of 10, they'll chuck in some onion rings for free as well, and they'll give you a bottle of drink.
Yeah.
Or I can go and buy a 12-inch bloody cheese pizza from Domino's. No.
I quite like a Spendos
Yeah.
for pizza, and they always buy one get one free as well.
I've never had an Spendos pizza.
You need to try
kebabs, mate, are the dog.
The pizzas are as good as all the other food that they sell.
Ooh.
And I'd probably say their pizza is better than most companies that I've tried.
I'm just gonna check on that well-known food ordering app, which involves Just and Eating. Oh, it doesn't matter because we're not sponsored by anyone, so it doesn't matter, does it?
No.
Let's have a little look at a Spendos in Dover to see if they do pizzas, because I don't think they do from the Dover one. Because up in the village,
surprised if they don't.
Up in the village,
we've got one in Folkestone, one in Hawkinge. There's one in Ashford. There's one in Dover.
Don't do it, mate. It's the proper like hot mezes, cold mezes, salads, kebabs, grills, kebabs, combination kebabs, burgers for the kiddie winkies, vegetarian dishes, seafood, chicken nuggets, desserts and drinks, and then they have special stuff, so like lamb casserole. So no, they don't do it, Dover.
I've only got one thing to say to that.
Gutted.
Unlucky.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll just have to drive up to Hawkins to get one.
Yeah. Essential drive-in, John.
I'm allowed to go and get takeaway. Boris
yeah,
said
you
so.
are.
Boris said so. It's food. Otherwise, my children
it's not actually that far, is it really?
No, it's only bloody 8 miles. Although you're not allowed to exercise further away than that.
Is there a limit on how far you can go?
Well, yeah, sort of. There's no legal defined written down in law limit, but the local area, was it Michael Gove or someone said recently on the telly that it's 7 miles. So anything out of 7 miles is considered to be not local to you, so you can't be there exercising.
Wow, that's a very randomly specific number.
Yeah. It's probably because it's about the same amount of distance that Boris needs to go to his mistress.
Yeah. Who was the other guy that got caught? Said don't do it.
It was him, wasn't it?
Oh,
what are you talking about right at the very beginning?
Yes. Yeah, the guy who's going to visit his partner or mistress or.
Well, there was Dominic Cummings, wasn't there, right at the beginning, who went for a drive with COVID, whilst he had COVID. To see if he could drive, if he could see properly. So he drove from one town, then like 150 miles to another town to go.
Very responsible and safe, that.
To win, innit? Do you know what I mean? What a load of old nonsense. A bit of sad news today.
Yeah, that was quite a surprise.
Yeah, Captain Sir Tom Moore has passed away at 100 years old from pneumonia in hospital, which is very sad.
Yes, rest in peace, Tom.
Yeah, thank you for everything you did, sir. Thank you for your service, and thank you for your service to the NHS as well. To be fair,
in fact, while we're on that topic, we've lost a couple of people in my workplace. I won't go into names or anything, but I'd just like to say while I'm on air that thoughts are with the families and to both individuals that have passed away, that I hope they do rest in peace, and they were really good people and nice to know. I'm quite glad I got to spend that time with them whilst working where I work. So
yeah, definitely condolences from us, and really for anyone who's lost anyone.
Yeah, I think it's a general thing at the moment, isn't it? And obviously that's going to get people down and make people a bit worried or anxious in different ways. And like we always go back to it, but if you are feeling like that, then just pick up the phone or message someone,
Absolutely.
relatives, anybody. Like we've said before, if people have used the page, haven't they, to put their frustrations
Yeah,
or
yeah,
things
absolutely,
that
yeah.
happen to them, and I think that's good. I think it's good to put them things forward, and people all come together and that, yeah, okay, yeah, I know how you feel with that, and have you tried doing this, because that might help, or so. I just think that's quite good, and it's to me, when you can see that stuff happening, you know that what you're doing is working. So I'm all for it, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. It is a shit time for everyone, especially those that are losing people. I just you don't even it doesn't even bear thinking about. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, talking out, speaking to someone, asking for help isn't weak in any way, shape, or form. If anything, it's the polar opposite. It's really strong. It's a really strong thing to be able to do, to be able to ask for help. And there are an awful lot of charities about. There are bereavement charities that are available. There are national ones as well as local ones. There's the ones that everyone has heard of. There's Samaritans. There's Mind. Um, Movember for us blokes. Everything all bloke related. I think most people get caught up in the misconception that Movember is just a catchy little title to raise some charity in November where blokes grow mustaches or beards. It's not actually. They're a full time, 24-hour day, 365-day a year charity. So getting onto them, having a chat with them, um, or turning around to your mates, turning around to your family. There's that old adage, isn't it? A problem shared is a problem halved. Might not
Yeah,
fix it there and then, but at least you're taking the right step. You're moving forward to be able to get it sorted. So
yeah. And the other thing is, like with Facebook, that like a lot of areas have community groups
mhm.
as well. So I'm sure people, if you put something up that you're having a bit of a hard time, and that there's going to be people there that are happy to talk to you, that you've never even met.
Do you know
There's
there's one Facebook page that actually I think is really nice and it's definitely worth a mention, and it's called Walk the Mind. And it's just people who are a bit down or a bit glum or suffering from mental health issues or not. And they just go out walking, not as a group, but go out. Well, I mean, I'm sure they do go out as a group, but they go out for walks, take photos, post them up, post them into the group, talk about how they were feeling a bit down, so they went for like a 20-mile walk and look at all the wonderful things they saw along the way, and they feel much better. And everybody on there seems to be quite open with each other, and I think that's the beauty of doing stuff like that on social media or those type of groups, because you can almost be a bit of a keyboard warrior in the sense that you're anonymous. You know, if I'm talking to Frank and Liz in Burnley, they've got no idea who I am really. They can see a profile picture, they can see, do you know what I mean? But they don't
yeah,
know who I am. So there's no judgment. And realistically, they're likely to be in that group for the same reason. You know,
yeah,
they're
exactly.
there because they want to go for a walk, because they're both feeling a bit glum or they're feeling a bit down, or the other side of that is that I've seen posts from professionals saying, well, if you want to talk, we're here to help, and I could offer you this advice, and I can offer you that advice. You can do this and that, which is nice. But it's quite a nice little group. There's one that's specifically dedicated for airsofters that I've seen and that I'm a member of, because I think that's a worthwhile cause as well. You get a group of people together with the same interests that can talk to each other, help each other through, and all share the same concerns, illnesses, problems, issues. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, geezer on there saying, "Oh, I'm a diabetes, really gets me down and it makes me depressed, and I'll put on weight or I do all this or whatever." And someone else pops up, goes, "Oh yeah, I'm a diabetic. I changed this bit of my diet and I did that, and I feel better for it." So there's lots
Yeah,
of social media, whilst it can be absolutely terrible, is on the other side of that is it can be quite a wonderful little thing. So there's
yeah.
great support groups about.
It's no different to being in, like, I've got a Duke Nismo, so being in a group for Duke Nismo owners, you go, oh, I've got a problem with my car. Oh yeah, this is, have you tried that?
Yep.
It's exactly the same.
Yep.
It's the same for everything, isn't it?
Yep, I've got a problem with my head instead of a problem with my car. Yep, someone else has got the same problem or has something similar.
Yep, I would even go as far as saying, like, if you are feeling a bit down, just join in a group for something you like.
Yeah.
So if you like U2, they've got to have a U2 fan page on Facebook, guaranteed, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Log on, have a chat. Put, these are my favourite songs. What does everyone else think? And then you're then conversing, then, aren't you?
Open up a dialogue,
those
open up
people.
a conversation. Yeah, totally.
And it takes your mind away from the things that are getting you down. Even if it's for that short period of time. But the more you get involved with these different things, the less time you've got to think about the negative stuff that's going on. And therefore it takes it away. And that's if you obviously don't want to talk about anything that's getting you down to family and friends. There's always other things that you can do to sort of compensate what's happening. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just about reaching out. If you are suffering, I promise you now, especially at this precise moment in time, that you are not the only person that's suffering, and there are so many people that are suffering with you. So you're not alone. You're not a freak or a weirdo. I know I thought it when I was in a particularly dark place. That it's horrible. It's hard, but you're not alone. And there are people that understand. There are people that will talk to you, and there are people that can help. And there are loads of people that can help. Lots.
of course, yeah. And the other on the flip side of that is, like, I'll give a for instance. Last week, I woke up. I just was in. I couldn't be bothered. I just had no interest in doing anything that day. I don't know why. I just felt like I didn't want to do anything. I just had nothing. I don't know. I just woke up and I was like 10%. I just was running on fumes. I just didn't want to be involved in anything. And then, like, I've spoken to you, and then you message and you're like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right?" So if you are getting that feeling from someone, or they're quite likely to be like that, just drop them a message.
Yep.
Give them a call.
Yeah.
Are you all right? Everything all right? Do you need anything? Want to chat?
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's it, isn't it? You people quite often go through an awful lot and never say anything about it through stigma, whether it's no one else's business, it's my problem or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? But realistically speaking, like I said earlier on, a problem shared is a problem halved. So
Yeah.
you just getting it off your chest quite often resolves it itself. Do you know what I mean? If you're getting stuck in a bit of a fog. I had a whole day of sitting in my pajamas the other day. I'm not actually saying that that's a bad thing. I'm actually saying that was an awesome thing. I quite literally got up, walked downstairs, made myself a coffee, plunked myself on the sofa, stayed there pretty much the entire day, just for no reason at all. Made myself several drinks, but then then went up, had a shower, went to bed. It was awesome. I haven't had a pajama day in about 32 years. So that's all right. What else is happening? There's all sorts of shit going on.
Yeah.
COVID isn't just the only thing that's happening in the world. I found the Russell Howard's YouTube channel.
Okay.
The other day, got to say, that is worth subscribing to just for a giggle.
Oh, really?
It's like little clips from his shows. So they're like, some of them are 5 minutes, some of them are 2 minutes, some of them are like 15 minutes. And honestly, absolutely wetting myself with them. That's a proper pick you up thing. If you're feeling a bit glum and a bit miserable, watch a bit of Russell Howard, mate. That makes me giggle.
Yeah, I've watched a few comedian shows. What was we started watching? Def Jam Comedy Club.
Okay.
Something like that. That's on one of the either Amazon Prime or Netflix. And that was Martin Lawrence was the host.
Okay.
Bad Boys, and they had various comedians walking on doing a little gig and little set, and that was that's quite funny. So all that sort of stuff,
Ah.
anything that makes you laugh.
I have got something that I've got to show you. For those people that can't see the video of this, we are videoing it and talking at the same time. But hold on a second. Hold on. Digestive biscuits that are, check this out. I don't know if it's going to focus. It won't focus. Cherry Bakewell flavour.
I've had those.
They're amazing.
They do marmalade, cherry Bakewell.
I know one of my mates said that he's got a Christmas pudding flavoured pack of digestive biscuits.
Oh, really? I think the other one was salted caramel or something like that.
Mate, they are unreal. It's like it's if you close your eye, right now they've not quite nailed it because it's obviously not a cherry bakewell because man loves your bakewell, but
and it's chocolate.
Yeah, and it's chocolate. It tastes a bit like a mouthful of cherry Coke with a digestive in your mouth, but a bit more leaning towards.
It's like icing mixed with cherry Coke mixed with biscuit.
Yeah. But they're unreal, mate.
It has got a very nice taste to it, actually. Yeah, I do agree.
I accidentally ate half a pack before I'd even made a cup of tea.
And then ate the other half with your tea.
Yeah. So they're awesome. That was a good find today.
I'll tell you what else is new. We were lucky enough to be asked onto a show, which is on YouTube.
That was pretty good, wasn't it?
A conspiracy show, which was actually very fun to record, and I got to meet Adam. He's a lovely guy, and I loved it. I loved the final edit. I thought it was very good, very well made, and it's really enjoyable. And actually, when I watched it back, I laughed as much as I did when we were making it. So
yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it? So that's the Average Joe Conspiracy Show on YouTube, and they've got a Facebook page as well by the same name. And the idea is that he has guests that come on. One of them picks a conspiracy theory, whether it's an outrageous or nuts one, or whether it's like quite a possible sort of jobby. And so one person has to argue for it. The other person either agrees or disagrees with it, and Adam hosts it, and they score the conspiracy with a maximum score of 5.5. So 5.5 being absolutely this is 100% dead truth, and 1 being get out. So we went on there, which was quite good fun, and I, because of everything that's going on, I was toying with the idea of trying to argue that there was no such thing as COVID, or that COVID wasn't as bad as it was. I was toying with the idea of going on there saying that COVID was manufactured and or controlled by the elite so that they can make money whilst everybody else loses out. I looked at the idea of the vaccines and the whole anti-vax type movement. I looked at so much 9/11. I looked at so many things, and I thought it's just all too miserable and it's all bollocks. So I thought I'd go for something which was super duper awesome, which is the Loch Ness monster, and it was awesome. I've never had as much fun trying to argue something that I 100% didn't believe, like arguing it was real. It was fun. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch for anybody that's got a little bit of time on their hands. The video wasn't hugely long, was it? So I think it's around 30 minutes.
Yeah, the shows themselves are 30 minutes, but you and we were obviously talking like we do on here. We've been going for about 45 minutes already. They're only half an hour long, but we were nattering for 2 hours, I think, when we were.
Yeah, it was 2 hours in the end. But yeah, good fun, and big shout out to Adam for inviting us on, because that was absolutely awesome, and thanks for giving us a shout out in your video as well. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's yet to reflect in the figures. So people that go and listen to the Average Joe Conspiracy Show, leave a note in the comments of all of his videos saying that the MBS podcast sent you there. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Don't spam this stuff. Do spam this stuff. No, don't. No, do. No, do. Yes, that was good fun. We are edging ever closer to getting some guests on. Had to have a cancellation for today, but that's not really a problem. We can move forward with that. We'll be having a chat at some point, I think, with your brother.
Yes. Yeah. So my brother's going to come and as a guest for the show. He's been through more than most. Is probably the least I could say,
Yep.
especially over the last year or so. But my brother was fortunate enough to come out the other side of testicular cancer, and he just wanted to come on and have a chat about his experience, how he dealt with it, and what to look for, you know, how it come about, what the process was, and even now, what's happening further along the line. So I think that'll be quite interesting for everybody, including yourself. Obviously, I'm quite close to my brother, so
Yeah.
experienced a reasonable amount with him. But obviously, him being through it personally is going to have a slightly a much different view to people on the outside. So that'll be quite interesting, and hopefully we can get that done over the next few weeks
Yes.
and put up for everybody. So
Yeah, that'd be good. Get that done. I'm going to, I think I've mentioned before, get a friend of mine. He's I don't know how you describe him. A he's a music producer, urban artist. He's been part of the hip hop scene before. I think it was even termed hip hop. He's been about a bit to come on and have a chat about music, about hip hop culture, about its roots, where it comes from, because there is a big common misconception that it belongs to the black community. It doesn't. Obviously, it belongs to everybody because music is universal. So, and culture itself, well, no culture exists without mixing and borrowing from other ideas. So, um, it, it's going to be an interesting one with him coming on, talking about urban art, graffiti, talking about music production, talking about dance. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool because he was there back in the day, and I do mean like one of the kind of founding fathers of breakdancing, popping, locking, all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be cool having him in about. That'd be quite good.
awesome.
And we'll also have H come on, who's a tattoo extraordinaire at a big London tattoo house, and he's a born again long distance runner or endurance runner. Fucking weirdo.
Oof.
Yeah. I mean, like,
It's
I mean,
a shame.
I'd consider myself like an endurance hot dog eater or an endurance pizza eater. But like he said to me, "Oh, we come out for a run. We just go out for a short one." And I know what he's thinking. A short one's like 15 miles. There's no way on this planet I'm getting more than 150 yards. So that's going to be an interesting experience. But yeah, we'll get H on there, so that'll be fun.
It'd be nice if I could like kind of disconnect my legs and he could just take them out
Yeah,
for a run.
like just unplug your heart for a bit, plop it in his chest, let him do the work for you, bring it back, plop it back in. That'd be quite
Cheers for
handy.
that. Yeah, cheers
mate,
for that. I feel a little bit lighter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Circulation feels a lot better.
yeah. So there's that. I still think we need to somehow manage to coerce our wives and other half onto here so that they can do the whole what they think of us really show, because I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
And all the shit that they have to put up from our perspective, or from us really, not from our perspective, from their perspective of how big a bunch of dicks we are really.
I would expect nothing than praise, John.
Speaking of dicks and testicles, right? I watched a video yesterday, which was part of the Donut Media. You know, the guys,
Okay.
the car guys, and it was about the swinging ball sack, the truck balls.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
No, like
Off the tow bar.
yeah, off the
Yeah,
tow bar. And it was like a 10-minute program or 10-minute video about there's like this weird battle over who owns the rights and the idea of testicles hanging off of pickup trucks. The
yeah.
nuts,
Really?
mate. Honestly, I was tickled pink. Honestly, watching it, there's like, and like there was quite a bitter kind of battle really, like a bit of a legal wrangling. Some serious name calling, some corporate espionage. Like literally, some geezer snuck into a factory and tried to steal a design or buy a design
Oh,
from
wow.
something, like for a pair of bollocks hanging from a tow bar. Like, oh,
Some
mate.
fake testicles.
Oh, honestly. So that tickled me. So if anyone that like is remotely interested, have a little look at that. It made me giggle. It probably make you giggle as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think we should round up there. It's been
Yeah.
nice getting back into the swing of things because we did an awful lot before this lockdown, and
Yeah, you kind of knew it was coming, didn't we? So we just sort of
smacked
went
out an
a little
awful
bit
lot.
overboard with
Oh yeah,
with the recordings.
I think there's some things that we probably need to go back over. That the Xbox Series X wasn't on fire. It was someone was blowing vape fluid into it.
Yes.
Um,
I'm sure we
we
didn't we
might have
cover
done.
that?
We
Yeah,
might
I'm
have done
sure
it.
we did.
That my I need to make a correction because he has grizzled at me about it twice now. I think Chris. That my laptop doesn't have a Core i5 in it; it has a Core i7. So there's the correction for you, Chris. Mind your own media for anybody who needs TV production work done. If you have a chat with Chris, he's the man. The PlayStation hasn't been quite as nice as you'd hoped it would have been.
That's kind of an understatement. Yeah, the controller's awesome.
Yep.
That's probably about it,
Oh
actually.
dear. Oh dear.
Yeah, it's not. It's I don't really like it, to be honest with you. Although obviously being a little bit impatient, I know that they're going to release more stuff that's going to be a lot higher quality.
Yep.
I'm not massively impressed. It doesn't look hugely better than PS4 Pro. Graphics at the moment are
Yep.
quite similar. Obviously, you've got the ray tracing and bits like that, and you do notice it with various games, but it's quite minimal. I think there's a lot more they can do. It hasn't stood out. If that's the easiest way of putting it. I haven't put it on and been like, wow, this is next gen.
And what about
Other than the controller, that's it.
what about build quality?
Poor. So the first 2 days, dead silent. Then I brought it home because I was at my partner's. Brought it home, turned it upside down, put the stand on so I could stand it up beside my TV cabinet, and then all of a sudden there's this strange mini fridge, like refrigeration noise. I was like, what? Where on earth is that? You turn it off and you turn it back on. I'm like, no, it's constant. I've not got a disc in. So I've gone online like most people do. There's a problem with the fan. That could be a sticker. So it's quite easy to take apart. The sides of the PS5 literally slide off.
Mm-hmm.
There's no screws. They literally slide. They just lift off. So I've obviously YouTubed that. So obviously you don't want to break the console because there are still plastic clips.
Of course, yeah.
So I've taken the sides off. Then you need a special torque screwdriver. So I've ordered one of those. It's come in the post. It's very easy to undo. It's literally 4 screws. Bang! Out comes the fan.
Mm-hmm.
Turn it on. Dead silent. So you've got like a metal frame of the PlayStation, and then the plastic fan, which is quite chunky for obvious reasons, sits on that, but it's just screwed in. There's no gasket, there's no rubber, lugs or anything. So the vibration from the fan spinning on the console just causes some like strange, drony, awful noise every time it's on.
Yeah, I mean, we had a chat on the phone the other day, didn't we? And you showed me you held your phone to the sound or to the PlayStation, and I was like, "Ugh,
Yeah, it's just
it's a £500 console that goes."
yeah. So Sony say obviously they'll take it back and have a look at it. I don't have a printer, so I've asked them to send me the labels in the post, and it's probably been about a month. I've made 4 phone calls and I've still not got it. So well done, Sony. Cheers for that.
Nice.
And surprisingly, I've reported this after a couple of weeks of owning it, and they take it away for repair, and if they can't repair it, they give you like a pre-owned repaired console. That's not
Nice.
100%, because obviously they could send me a new one. I don't know how they work it, but according to their internet page, if they can't fix it, they'll send you one that's been
refurbished,
which
not
I
what you
was
want, is it?
really made up about. So hopefully that doesn't happen, because they will be getting a phone call from me that won't be very
No,
polite.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
In the slightest. But yeah, I kind of wish I never bought it, if I'm honest. I'd have been quite happy to play on my PS4 for the next few months and wait until they find out the issues. I've had games crashing constantly. The Cyberpunk, crikey, I actually took that back. It was that bad. It just didn't work. In the 2 hours I played it, it crashed completely to the point where I had to shut the console off and turn it back on twice. There was people floating in the air. There was weapons floating in the air. There's people like
it was
in chairs. They were like inside furniture, and
yep.
I was just like, wow, this is so bad. It's so not done by such a large scale that I don't even want to play it. You spend a couple of hours of your time on something you've been looking forward to, for it to be that bad. I just thought, I can't be bothered. I'm not going to spend my good money on that. And there's a lot of forums online where people have said you should wait. They've got fixes coming, and I want to buy it when it's fixed.
Yeah, no, I'm with you with that. There is a massive debate that I mean, they're being sued in the States. They're being sued in Europe as well, I think, CD Projekt Red, which is a little bit of a shame, because actually the irony is the people that are suing them are the investors, and it was the investors that got the developers to push it out before it was ready to go. And there were even emails and memos and bits and bobs that have been linked from CD Projekt Red, 6 months ago, saying, I know we've rolled it back and we've rolled it back and we've rolled it back, but we need to roll it back because it's not ready to go out. It was the investors that forced them to put it out, from what I can see, from what I've made out. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that's 100% the case, but it's what I've read and what I've seen online from the little bit of research that I've done. However, that being said, they have just done
Hotfix 2, I think.
Yeah, which I think was like a 15 gig update.
Yeah, I think there was 2 big ones, and they've managed to get. I think I'm pretty sure that both of the big updates have been put out, as far as I'm aware. And I know that for a period of time, I'm not sure if that's even changed, that it was taken down from the Sony PSN
Sony
store.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
And they put a statement up saying that they were aware of the issues, and that if anybody wanted a refund, that they would happily honour it, which is obviously the reason why I took mine back within 4 hours of owning it.
We gave it a fair chance then.
Yeah, I'm not one for buying something for full price.
No, I'm with you.
And not working.
100%.
Don't release a game that doesn't work.
Nope.
End of. Like, you never bought one 15 years ago. Can you imagine that on the Nintendo cartridge?
Cartridges, of course. Yeah.
Taking I mean, Toad's head's on Mario's body or something like that, and because they've not done something right, and and they say, well, we've released it, but carry on playing it, and or don't play it because it doesn't work, and give us a couple of months, and maybe we'll put a couple of updates out and fix your game for you, so you can play it. Well, no.
Yeah, I want to buy a finished product. You wouldn't go and buy half a car with no wheels, would you? Do you know what I mean?
No,
Mind
not
you,
at all.
I see Apple are looking at making a car. That's made me chuckle. Yeah, because
it would be nice if they made a phone that works properly, because my 11 and as far as I'm aware, the 12 is having lots of problems at the moment.
Also,
Wi-Fi and games and apps in general just completely going off the screen. So you're like in the middle of doing something and it literally just shuts down completely.
Oh, nice. That's what you want.
And then you have to like reopen the app that you're using to start it off again.
I
don't know what's going on.
Well, you don't even get a power supply with them now. But that being said, you don't with Samsung anymore.
Do you get headphones? I don't think you get headphones either, do you?
No, you don't. No. Which does make me wonder if with the Apple car, if steering wheel and engine are optional extras.
It won't be to start with, but after like 5 models, it'll have an interchangeable steering wheel, so you'll have to keep it.
Yeah.
It'll be your personal steering wheel, and it'll be face recognition as well. So when you get in, it will see you and be like, you're allowed to drive it.
But if you grow a beard, you're screwed.
Yeah. Don't get into a bar fight.
That's right. Yeah. So that was fun. That made me laugh. I can't. I think we're done. I think we've run out of things to talk about off the top of our heads. We'll get back into some more planning, getting some bits and bobs further forward. Like I said, we've got some guests coming in. Stuff that's going to be pretty cool. I definitely think getting a female in for like a female perspective on just us guys in general. Like, and I don't mean like to criticise. I mean like why maybe they think that we don't talk. Maybe we don't open up what their take on it is as well. Because I think, like, our significant others are usually our main sounding boards, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? They're the ones that we talk to the most, whether it's about big things or whatever. And be interesting to get a female perspective on why guys don't open up or why guys don't talk as much. And yeah, I think that might be interesting as well.
I've had a thought for another episode as well, that anybody that listens in, if hopefully they're on the Facebook group, to leave a message on what they think we should talk about, and maybe we could then take that list and create like some sort of poll, and we'll use the winning one to talk about, or the top two to make a show, and we'll see what we can do with that. That should be quite fun.
Yeah. The viewers or listeners' demands.
Yeah,
man, we can do that. Right. Well, on that note, then, mate, I shall catch up with you a bit later. Thank you for coming, and everybody, thank you for listening.
Okay. Ciao for now.
See you later. Bye.